Meow to y'all, and welcome back to another video. Since I was able to accurately theorize and predict who the new 1.7 marriage candidates were going to be, I've decided to try my luck again, but this time trying to theorize what Sandy and Clint's new heart events will look like. Overcoming addiction like Shane, chasing a dream like Elliot or Maru, that's what we'll be discussing today, so buckle up. Now, I know a lot of people are very excited for Sandy, and not that many are excited for Clint, but I actually think they have way more in common than you'd think. In fact, I think their heart events will both have a common theme: loneliness, financial distress, and pressures from family. The loneliness concerning Sandy is probably obvious. I mean, she's living in Calico Desert and there's hardly anyone else there. But we learn she's even lonelier than that because she wants to come to Pelican Town to visit Emily, her friend, but she can't. Gets Sandy to 10 hearts and she says, "Hey, it's you. I'm glad to see you, kid. I was starting to think you'd never come back. If I didn't have this shop to run, I'd come back to the valley with you for a day or two. Just you and me on the old farm. You'll just have to visit me more often so I don't get depressed." There's nobody to watch the shop for her. She works literally every single day, even on her birthday. Emily would take the bus and visit her for her birthday, but she's still hanging out in her shop. And during the desert festival, in an even-numbered year, she says, "This is probably the busiest time of the year for me. It's nice to be able to see everyone." So even though Emily is very obviously her closest friend in Pelican Town, she enjoys socializing with pretty much everyone because she's just so starved of socializing. Once you meet her, get her friendship any higher than 0 points, and there's already a chance of her sending you a letter in the mail that reads, "Greetings from Calico Desert. Come visit me soon. I'm really bored out here. I've included a gift from the desert. You can come and thank me in person. Sandy. Come hang out with me. Come see me. I'm in the desert. Hello? Anyone there?" Sandy is screaming for help because she is so lonely and isolated. Clint is also very lonely, and one might think that he doesn't have as much of a reason to be lonely compared to Sandy, considering he's in Pelican Town and opportunities to socialize are more abundant. But I do feel as though there are unique circumstances that warrant Clint's loneliness. Get Clint to 3 hearts and he says, "I have terrible luck with women. I'm a nice guy if you get to know me." He says he has such terrible luck with women, but how come we never see him with anyone else? He's never hanging out with friends, he's never in any group events like in Alex's 14 heart event, where a few people are gathered to watch the Tunnelers game. He's never really even mingling with anyone else. But why? Even Shane and Haley, who are notoriously a bit rough around the edges, have friends that they can talk to and can be seen chatting with others. This can be explained simply. Haley and Alex seem like they've known each other for years, and maybe they even went to school together. Shane makes some friends due to the patience and compassion of others like Emily, who goes out of her way to listen to Shane at the saloon. Get Emily to 8 hearts and she can say, "There's good people in this town who just can't seem to find happiness. It makes me sad. Working in the saloon, I hear firsthand about everyone's problems." This feels like she's referring to Shane, especially since we can see in Clint's 3 heart event that Shane and Emily are able to converse so easily, which is a stark contrast to how Clint acts around Emily. I theorize that Clint is kind of an outlier compared to others in Pelican Town. We don't know how old he is, but after 6 hearts he can say, "Damn it, I'm too old to do anything exciting anymore. All I have to look forward to is years and years of sweaty, hot furnace work." I mean, just look at where his shop is located. It's pretty isolated. Anyone that's on their way to the museum/library really don't have any reason to pop into Clint's shop and talk about what? His smithing? Unless someone is interested in weapons, they really wouldn't have any reason to visit his shop. The only person that is interested in weapons would be us, obviously, and Abigail, but she has her own friend group and keeps her adventuring on the down low. So Sandy and Clint both struggle with their loneliness, but what about the other 2 things I mentioned? Financial distress and pressure from family. I think these 2 themes will slightly bleed into each other, so let's start with Sandy and get into it. We can obviously see that nobody else really goes to Calico Desert and visits Sandy's shop. I mean, there's never anyone else there besides us. If you speak to her on a Monday, she'll say, "Hello, sweetie. I'm so glad that the bus is back in service. It was starting to get lonely out here. I almost went out of business. Hey, but now you're here to buy a whole bunch of seeds, right?" We don't know exactly how long the bus was out of service, but this dialogue from Penny helps us narrow it down. "My mother used to drive the bus to Calico Desert, but the bus stopped working a few years ago. Mayor Lewis says there's not enough money in the town coffers, or else he'd have it fixed. Years ago? So not only has Sandy been struggling with her extreme isolation and loneliness, but also she's barely scraping by because of lack of business. This is a reoccurring theme in Stardew Valley that I actually cover in one of my oldest videos on the channel. Pretty much everyone is struggling, and almost everyone has a dialogue or two about how money is tight. Clint isn't afraid to tell you that he could use your business as well. Business has been slow lately. You should upgrade your tools. I could use the cash. So not only are they both struggling financially, but I do believe there is an element of pressure from family. On a Monday, Clint can say, "Yep, I'm a blacksmith. My father was also a blacksmith. My grandfather was a blacksmith as well. I bet you can't guess what my great-grandfather was." Randomly during the summer, Clint can also say, "Be glad you're a farmer. It's nicer to work outdoors than by a hot furnace all day. I'm only a blacksmith because my father pushed me into it." But what about Sandy? Is there any indication that she was pressured into running her shop from her family? Maybe the shop was passed down? It's just a theory of mine, but it seems like Sandy is really unhappy with her job and the shop. On Sundays, she can say, "It's always sunny here, even in the winter. Actually, it's a little hot for my tastes. My delicate skin burns quickly in the sun." If we look at the items that she chooses to stock in her shop, it just seems like she's cutting out a small corner of the desert and trying to turn it into Pelican Town, or at least a farm. She sells mainly seeds, which a farm obviously needs, and then random clothes and decorations. If I had a shop that featured clothes that I either designed or made, the whole point is to see it on people. Why would Sandy choose to open her shop in the desert where there's no clients to sell her fashion pieces to? She takes a great interest in farming and the farm life, but more specifically, Stardew Valley. 3 out of 4 of her loved gifts are flowers from Stardew Valley: crocus, daffodil, and sweet pea. Ooh, I absolutely love getting gifts from the valley. I'm so happy. And her liked gifts are also items that can be obtained if you're a farmer in Pelican Town, like goat milk, large goat milk, and wool, or from the mines, like quartz. Now, it is true that quartz can also be found in the Skull Cavern, but I can't help but notice that all 4 of these items can be used to dye something white, and we already know that she has an interest in fashion based on how she stocks her shop, her close friendship with Emily, and how she helps Emily during the Desert Festival with her outfit services. So why on earth would she open a shop in the middle of a desert if she loves nature, farmlands, and fashion and needs a healthy flow of shoppers to sustain all of this? I'm thinking she inherited the shop. I'm thinking Calico Desert used to be a bustling hotspot for traders, but as time went on, and the ongoing war between the Godoro Empire and Ferngill Republic that we can learn about from Sam and Kent, traders and shop owners had to move on in order to find more business. Just look at the traveling cart lady. Maybe at one point she had a permanent shop in the desert, but was able to pack up and leave. Maybe Sandy hasn't had that same opportunity. Maybe something is tying her to that shop, a place where she is so unhappy and would much rather be closer to Emily and closer to some greenery. I think this could provide some interesting heart events with Sandy, where she eventually comes to a decision to peacefully leave her shop, at least part-time, and is able to come to Pelican Town more often with the help of the farmer if you were to marry her. Conversely, despite Clint seemingly being pushed into becoming a blacksmith, he can say this during the Stardew Valley Fair in odd number years: "I complain about my job sometimes, but I do take pride in my work. These are some of my finest pieces. I hope you like them." And in even-numbered years, he says, "It's heartening to see others take an interest in my work. Makes me feel like I'm doing something good in the world. I finished some of these pieces just last week. Please inspect them closely. I stand behind my work." So I think both Sandy and Clint's new heart events that will be added in 1.7 will dive deeper into their loneliness, their isolation, and some of the choices that have been seemingly made for them in their life, like Clint being pushed into blacksmith work by his father, and Sandy being tied down to her shop, leading to a final realization for both of them in the 10 Heart event. Sandy deciding to embrace what she needs, companionship and community, and finally going for it. And Clint embracing what he has, stability, security, and a lot more community than he realizes. With that said, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. What do you think Sandy and Clint's New Heart events will look like? Any overall themes? I'd love to hear about it. Leave a comment down below. And if you've got a suggestion for the next video, or some headcanons that y'all have and want to share, be sure to leave a comment down below, and make sure to subscribe to catch my next video. I'll be making more Stardew Valley videos, so keep an eye out. See y'all next time. Bye!